Vedic period began with the advent of Aryans in India. Now, Aryans were people who spoke Indo-Aryan languages, such as Sanskrit. Although there is no consensus on where these people came from, most of the scholars agree with Max Muller's theory that the Aryans came to India from Central Asia. Legend has it that they were successful in India thanks to their possession of horses, chariots, and probably better arms made of bronze and copper. Early Vedic period is also called as the Rigvedic period since most of the information comes from the Rigveda, which is a part of ancient Indian literature. So buckle up for a journey through time with our Vedic pals. The whole region in which Aryans first settled in India was called the land of the seven rivers, or Saptasindhu. The star of the show was the mighty Sindhu River, joined by its entourage of Jhelum, Beas, Chena, Bravi, and Satluj, the river squad, if you will. Did you know that the Saraswati was considered the holiest rivers in the Rigveda? It was called Nadi Tarna, which means the best of the rivers. Sindhu River is mentioned the most, whereas Yamuna and Ganga are rarely mentioned. Aryans were all about the pastoral life, more into raising animals and farming. And guess what their ultimate favorite animal was? You guessed it right, the magnificent buffalo. Just kidding. It was the one, the only, the legendary cow. I mean, most of the wars were fought for the sake of the cow. The society was tribal and they lived semi-nomadic life. There was a king whose position was hereditary, most of the times at least. But this royal wasn't some all-powerful ruler with a golden ticket. No. The king had to play nice with the tribal organizations such as Sabha and Samiti. The society wasn't yet divided into the castes. The Varna system only made its grand entrance when the Aryans rolled in and decided to conquer the indigenous folks. The Dasas and Dasyus, who fell victim to Aryan conquest, found themselves at the bottom of the social ladder as slaves and Shudras. Guess who hit the jackpot during conquest? The princess and the priest, of course. They were living their best lives, raking in the benefits, and as you can imagine, socio-economic order started doing its own dance. Gradually, the society was divided into three groups: warriors, priests, and people. The fourth division, that is Shudras, appeared towards the end of the Rigvedic period. Although the society was patriarchal in nature, the women had important positions in the society since they were educated and had access to assembly. There were no child marriages. Widow remarriage was also allowed. I mean, what happened during the in-between period? How did we manage to decivilize? Anyway, let's talk about the conflicts. Firstly, Aryans fought with the pre-Aryans. Since that was not enough, they fought amongst themselves as well. One of such incidences is mentioned in the Rigveda, where the Bharatas, one of the ruling clans, found themselves in a bit of a showdown against not one, not two, but a whole crew of 10 kings, 5 Aryans and 5 non-Aryans. This epic face-off is famously known as the Battle of 10 Kings, and they picked the scenic Ravi River as the battleground. Now coming to religion, there was neither temple nor idol worship in the early Vedic age. The Aryans found it difficult to explain various natural phenomena such as rain, river, mountains, the appearance of sun and the moon, etc. So they humanized these natural forces and worshipped them. At the top of the divine charts was Indra, also known as Purandar, the fort breaker. Indra was a double threat as the warlord and the rainmaker. Next in line was Agni, the intermediary between the gods and the people, doing his divine networking. Then there's Varuna, the water personified, making sure the natural order stays in check. Soma was the god of plants. And that's not all. There were a whole bunch of other gods for various natural forces like a divine dream team. Now, the burning question. Why were they all so into worshipping gods during the Vedic time? Well, it wasn't for spiritual enlightenment or ending existential miseries. No, they were in it for the material stuff: children, cattle, food, the essentials. So, that was all about the early Vedic period.